evening, everyone, and welcome to Board District 5's Using Technology to Get Ready for School Town Hall. My name is Jackie Goldberg, and I am proud to be the representative for Board District 5. Before we begin, I need to help you with a few housekeeping items. First of all,
buenas noches a todos y a todas y les damos la bienvenida al foro comunitario Uso de la tecnología en preparación para la escuela del Distrito 5 de la Junta de Educación. Les habló Jackie Goldberg, orgullosa integrante del Distrito 5 de la Junta de Educación. Antes de comenzar, quisiéramos repasar unos puntos generales.
English or Spanish. For Spanish, click the interpretation button at the bottom of your Zoom window and then select Spanish. We have our wonderful interpreters from the LAUSD translation unit translating everything that's being said. So again, if you're at a computer and want to listen in Spanish, click the interpretation button at the bottom of your Zoom window and then select Spanish.
Primeramente, pueden escuchar este webinario en inglés o en español. Para escuchar en español, den clic en el botón Interpretación al pie de su ventana de Zoom y seleccionen Español. Nuestras maravillosas intérpretes de la unidad de traducción de la USD están traduciendo todo lo que estamos diciendo. Así que, nuevamente, si están en sus computadoras y desean escuchar en español, den clic en el botón Interpretación al pie de la ventana de Zoom y seleccionen Español.
If you have any trouble switching, you can also use your phone to call into our Spanish audio line, which is already up and running. The number and access code for that are on the invitation for this event.
En caso de dificultades para cambiar al español con el botón de interpretación, pueden escuchar por teléfono llamando a nuestra línea de audio en español, que ya está activada en estos momentos. El número y el código de acceso están en la invitación de este evento.
Second, we have American Sign Language interpreters as well. To continue to see them throughout the town hall, please make sure to keep your Zoom is set to gallery view so that you can see all of us at once. If you're viewing on a mobile device, just swipe left until you can see multiple panelists in your screen. Finally, you might notice that only our panelists are visible and audible. As we go through the Q and A button at the bottom of your screen. We'll then get to as many questions as we can when we get to our Q&A session, but please try to keep your questions brief. You can write your questions in Spanish if you'd like, that's no problem. And also, don't worry about spelling or proper grammar. We just need to get the point of the question. If you're joining us by phone, we won't be able to take your questions, but you can email any questions you have that aren't asked by others to bd5info@lausd.net, and we will answer you back by email in the next few days. My staff will be getting your questions to me on a separate spreadsheet, so don't panic if you see your question disappear from the chat box. I know there are still questions people are having, and school families are safe, but this webinar is not about that, and we won't be able to answer questions about that tonight. I encourage you to reach out to your local school principal, who will be able to explain exactly what steps are being taken at your school. Rest assured, safety has been the foremost preoccupation of a great number of very serious people here at the district. Now I want to give a very warm welcome to our interim superintendent, Megan Riley, who's joining us today just to give a brief welcome to all of you who are joining us. Megan?
Great, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Board Member Jackie Goldberg, for inviting me and allowing me to say a few words this evening. We are so excited actually so busy getting our schools prepared, all of the work that we put in place last spring. We've learned so much after the past 17 months. These types of town halls are so very important for getting your questions heard and answers to your questions. I love the fact that Jackie and her amazing team has pulled this together. We're excited about Monday because we know health experts and all of us knew that there's no substitute for in-person learning, friendship and physical activity. Which is why we committed to putting in place the highest safety standards and protocols at every campus to welcome our students back for the 2021-22 school year. I know we've all had to learn so much over the past 17 months. It's not just our students and our children that are learners, but we as a community had to learn different our hands and being vigilant about really fighting this disease and this pandemic. We've created the safest possible conditions in our schools with multi-tiered layers of support, whether it's mask wearing, if you can get vaccinated, please do get vaccinated. It's all the filters and the things that we've changed really to ensure that everything, that learning can happen in the classroom. We've increased student wellness and supports for student groups, and student family wellness centers will be open for mental health counselors. We've created family guides, and I hope you all have access to those. I know this town hall is going to focus on some of the technology and the challenges because we've all had to become learners in a whole new world where we were forced to kind of last year to react to the COVID pandemic. Now we're actually allowing our lives, reclaiming our lives, allowing kind of a safe. We hope that you share in our excitement, and we'll share your excitement with others so that students can be welcomed back come Monday. Thank you so much for joining and learning and listening and talking to us and telling us what your concerns are or what you're having troubles navigating. It helps us become a better district. It helps our schools become better service providers to you. And so please tell us what we need to change and what we need to improve upon. We're listening and we're here and happy to talk with you. So thank you, and thank you, Jackie, for allowing me to open this town hall.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Riley. We know how very busy you are, and so we appreciate you stopping by. I promised my constituents that we will invite you back so that you can tell us more about your goals for the district and about what some of the things that we are doing to try to make this a wonderful and exciting school year. So thank the floor to Ms. Teresa Araguin and also her colleague, Vilma Monson. Teresa Araguin is the Parent and Community Engagement Administrator for Local District Central, and Vilma Monson is the Parent Educator Coach. They will be guiding us now on how to navigate the parent portal, Daily Pass, and they'll answer questions at the end of this presentation. Take it away, my dear friends.
Goldberg, thank you very much. Thank you for having us. And we're going to get started. We have a lot of information to share with you. As Ms. Goldberg mentioned, I'm Teresa Araguin from Local District Central. I'm here with our other colleague, Ms. Vilma Monson, and we're going to get started. So today we're going to be reviewing some important information, especially for those families that are new to our district. So welcome families to LAUSD. Next slide. So objectives for today, we're going to be taking a look at our parent portal account. We're going to learn how to connect your students or your children to your parent portal account. And then we'll also be reviewing the Daily Pass, which is connected to the parent portal. So the most important question is, why should I have a parent portal account? So just to inform you that LAUSD does provide lots of opportunities in the parent portal for us to have real-time information about your child. Now, It is used to access additional resources, and that's why we're here today. As we're starting school, there's applications that are connected to us, and you'll be able to access the daily pass and other things that you see here on the screen, like unified enrollment, special. Continue, and we're going to start our presentation. Now, as we switch to that next slide, think about the parent portal. And if this is your first time and you're new to parent portal, it has a lot of important student information. So just like when we create any accounts in many of the apps and platforms that we use on a daily basis, the parent portal is the same. The biggest difference is that it has very confidential information about your child. And so there's several steps that we need to take. The good news is we are going to be going through every single step. And also we'll be videotaping this recording. So if we go a little bit fast for you, we'll be able to have that recording available and you can go back and review it even after today's presentation. So the first thing that you need to do if you're going to have a parent portal account and also access that daily pass is that you do need, as a parent, a personal email account before we even begin. So we're not going to take time during today's presentation. Some families that do need that assistance, or maybe have access to their email, have created an email and don't have the passwords. So with all of that, we're going to drop some links on the screen or on the chat so that you can be able to access those videos. And you can look at those videos. They're in English and in Spanish in case you need assistance with creating your email. Next slide. So there's two ways to access the parent portal. The fastest way, and if we forget after today's session or we didn't write down the information, that's okay. Please know that you can take screenshots of anything that's happened here, take out your cameras and take pictures also. I know I like to do that, but if you forget, go to the home screen with LAUSD, www.lausd.net. You're gonna click on families on the top. Number 2, you're gonna go to parent online tools. Next. Now, is to click on parent portal. So that's one way to come in. So again, if you forget, it's always in our LAUSD homepage. Now, another way to come into the parent portal, as you see here, is, and you can see the information here, achieve.lausd.net. You see the rest of the information there. And again, we'll be dropping in some links to share with you. And we might be doing that a little bit later in the presentation, but there's 2 different ways to go in. Now, the most important step is before we begin. Now, some parents have already created their accounts. If you're here for the daily pass and you've already created an account, all you need to go is to your parent login. But the vast majority of folks still need to register for an account. So the first time you go in, you're going to first register. Click on register. And you would need to give us some information. Your first name, last name. And then you're going to have to check that box that says, I'm not a robot. And then you're going to click register. So pretty simple, pretty basic. That's step 5. Once you do that, what's very important is for you to have access to that email. This is where sometimes our families get stuck. So they might have the email information, but then they might not have access to their email. And if they don't have access to their email, they might not remember the password. So if that's the case, you would need to generate a new email. So please make sure you have the current email, access to your email, and that you know your passwords if you need that access. Once you get this thank you from the district, it's going to say, yes, we recognize you. We have your email. And then you would check your email. This is how you're going to get this information that tells us, yes, we know that you want an account and that you're registering. The next step is when you have your email, you're going to click on, take you to the next steps. You're going to indicate parent portal, and you're going to create your email and password. You're going to connect your parent portal with a password that you're going to create. Now, this has a couple of features that need to be included. So if we look at the password criteria, Many times this is where we get stuck. You create a password, but maybe you didn't put 12 characters. So it's a long password. Again, we're dealing with very critical information. It's your child's confidential information. So you would need to make sure that all those elements are in place. Once you have all that password criteria, you would go to the right site and you'll start seeing that all start turning green. Maybe you're trying to use part of your email account. It's not going to let you as a password. Maybe you left a space in between. That won't allow you to be the password is very long. You also have to repeat it or re-enter your password. If you would like to see it, there is that little icon kind of on the side so that you can make sure that it matches your password and your re-enter password. Now, I just want to remind everybody, you do need to have at least one special character, a hashtag, an @ and a plus sign. That has to be on your password. And we get stuck a lot in that section because it does ask for a lot of pieces. Next slide. All right. So now that successfully activated your account. It's now recognizes you. You now have your password that you've created, and now you get to go back in. Now remember, families, you only have to do this the first time when you register. Once you created your parent portal, and from now on, for parent portal, all you need to do is go into. Be our first time if you're new, you would go into parent login. Next, you would enter that email and that password that you just created. Now, remember, it's a long password and it's got a lot of features in it, lots of requirements. So my recommendation to you is to make sure you write it down. If you're like me, I like to take pictures. I'd like to have it in my phone just to make sure I don't lose it. And I remember my password and have that handy. You're going to click on login. The first thing that it's going to ask you is about the student handbook. You receive a paper copy of the handbook every school year, and it has lots of important information. And what it's going to ask you is, do you want to receive it electronically versus having it mailed? So you click yes or no. This is a feature you would only need to indicate one time. So you either select yes or no and you submit. Now we're in. And I have a lot of important information on the top for you to connect with many different pieces for LAUSD, including you see some information here about the daily pass. And at another session, we'd love to go review all the different components that are in Parent Portal. Today, we keep focused on our Parent Portal. So now, again, this is the first time for us to come in. Now you need to tell the system who your child is. We need to connect the student to the parent or legal guardian. You're going to click on Add Student. In order to add your child and connect your child to your account, we're going to need your LAUSD ID number. It's typically in your child's report card. That's a very simple way to get it. You can also go to your child's school, and later we'll be giving you more information in case you're having difficulties with getting the student ID. If you're a new enrollee to you enrolled today, you might not have your student ID for about 24 hours. Once it's generated, then you would be able to register for Parent Portal. You would then include your child's date of birth, and you would also need to get your Parent Portal PIN. So we will talk to you a little bit about the PIN numbers because there's a little confusion with the PIN numbers. Now, when we talk about PIN numbers, we have two different PIN numbers. Students in LAUSD have their own MyMail account, and they also have their own unique PIN number as a student. So you might receive some information from the child's teacher, and you receive PIN, and you think, oh, there's the PIN. So no, just make sure that just know that you have your own parent PIN number, and it's separate from the student PIN number. So as you see on the right, parent PIN is different. And then also there's that district's family hotline. We have a lot of people manning that hotline right now. You don't have it and it's not easy for you to get, call that hotline. They should be able to help you also. Next steps. Now, another important piece of information. For Parent Portal, each parent or legal guardian would have their own PIN number. So if I'm parent one, legal guardian one, maybe I'm mom or dad, then I would have my own parent PIN for that one child that I have here on the screen. And parent two would also have their own parent PIN. Every parent or legal guardian has their own unique PIN. Let's say I have 2 children with LAUSD. That student would have another PIN. So I know some. So please know that it's one for each student. So as you see here, I'm going to have a PIN for my first child and then my second child, and likewise the other parent or legal guardian, a PIN that's unique for each child. So you're pretty much connecting it to each of your individual accounts. Once you have that information, now you have your PIN number. Now we're almost finished. Again, you would have to put we've already done the PIN. We're on step 4. You're going to put the PIN number and put, I'm not a robot, and add your child. Once you add your student, the information of their name and your name will appear on boxes 5 and 6. You're going to see both names. You're going to check to make sure it's accurate. Once you check that it's accurate, you will click. If you have more than one student, like in the example before, you would then go back and add another student. Click on the student's name and so forth. So if you have more than one student, you would have to do the same thing to add each one of your children with each one of their unique PIN numbers. So here we go. Remember, I mentioned that Parent Portal has many, many features, and those we will leave for another day. But it's very important for you to know and be informed about the Parent Portal. We also have Parent Portal for early ed all the way up to high school. So you only have to do this process once. You go from early ed to high school and graduation. And these are the features that will help you keep connected to us and for you to be able to access your child's information. Today, we will focus on also that very important piece of the Daily Pass. Have a Daily Pass as we want to ensure that everybody on our campuses are safe. We're taking safe steps to safe schools, and we all want that. I know you want that, it's a priority, and we want that as employees, all of us together, to be safe in our schools. So the Daily Pass asks us to do some things as we're coming into school. So whether you're an employer or a student, in this case, your children, as they come into school, everyone needs to answer those health check questions. We'll see more throughout the presentation. Once you answer those questions, and of course, if you answer no to those questions, you would get a Daily Pass or a QR code. You will also be able, if we go back to this one, you'll be able to book a COVID-19 appointment test. You would be able to link your COVID test results, and you would be able to book a vaccination appointment. So here, Daily Pass is accessible on a tablet, a laptop, or cell phone. So there's multiple ways for you to connect. Again, as we come to school, there's different ways of coming in, but let's say you don't have the Daily Pass, you still would have to come into school. You would need to make that line to come in, and you would be asked or prompted to respond to certain questions. In order to ease that transition, as you know, we have many students and employees coming into school. To ease that process and transition our students in and our employees, it's important to have the Daily Pass. Let's see what it looks like. Before arriving to school, if you have the Daily Pass and you have the QR code, then you would simply show the Daily Pass QR code, and you would be able to, it would be scanned, and that would inform the school whether or not. So this is the reason why we need a Daily Pass, and it just makes it much simpler for everyone. And most importantly, safe. So for those students that are 13 years and older, they can use the Daily Pass. They're able to use it on their own. A negative test needs to be in the system for students and employees to get a Daily Pass QR code. Now, if you're planning to come to school, which we know most of our kids are coming on Monday in person, then please make sure that you've already booked your COVID-19 test. And if you don't have an appointment, you can simply do a walk-in. It is highly recommended that parents use their Daily Pass account to schedule your testing appointments for their children. And the reason for that is because it connects it to your Daily Pass and your Parent Portal account. Students under 13 health check in the Daily Pass. So again, it looks a little bit different for 13-year-olds and older versus the little ones. The little ones still need our support and being able to manage and answer those questions. Again, please make sure you book your child's COVID-19 test appointment using their student ID number. So when we book an appointment, it's important to put the ID number. The reason we need that ID number is because it connects it to your portal and you'll have all that information. We'll see that in the next slides. Now, on the bottom, it says here to enter zeros for non-LAUSD students. Please know that since we do provide COVID vaccines for family members, maybe there's younger students or somebody in your family, another student that maybe attends another school that's non-LAUSD, you would enter the zeros. But again, all LAUSD students should be using their student ID number. Daily Pass is connected to your COVID-19 test results. Students and employees who test positive will not be able to get a Daily Pass QR code until they have finished their isolation period. We get a lot of questions around this piece. And again, this is why the Daily Pass is very important. The district has a community engagement team, and they're the ones that are monitoring and supporting to make sure that everybody is safe. They are the ones that will clear students and employees after they have been tested positive for COVID-19. Again, we have a district community engagement team. They're working around the clock to make sure that everyone is safe, and when they do test positive, that they're able to return and all procedures are followed. The information collected in the Daily Pass is available to the community engagement team and school administrators and supervisors. This information will be used to ensure that students tested positive for COVID-19. So please know there's systems in place. Safe steps to safe schools, #1 priority for everyone. Okay, so now as you see here, once you if you have your Parent Portal account, you're able to come in and do your Daily Pass. Now, if you do not have a Parent Portal account, here you can see how to link to the account, right? Here's the link. And again, we've reviewed some of those steps that we've taken. And if you're having any trouble, we're also including here the number 213-443-1300 if you need assistance. If there's an invited guest or a household member, there's also a way to scheduling your appointments. Just wanted to share that portion of the presentation for Daily Pass, step 1. Now we're on a different platform. It's connecting to your Daily Pass, to your Parent Portal. And then that same username and password that you use for Parent Portal, if you've already created your account, would be used to sign in to the Daily Pass. This is the step 2. Again, this is usually happening the first time you come in, connecting this platform to your Parent Portal. Once you see this next section, this information is the parent information. You're creating the Daily Pass account. You're coming in for the first time. You're going to put the parent information. The most updated image does indicate that it's the parent, not the dependent. So you fill in this information, your race, your gender, your ethnicity, your address. You go to the next steps, and then you're in. Remember, you're using this. And then now you're able to see what's on the Daily Pass. You would be able to book a COVID-19 test appointment. Some families use external providers for their COVID-19 test results. You would be able to submit those results and upload them here, as you see on the screen. You would also easily be able to get that Daily Pass. And let's say you have a guest coming for official school business, you could also request a guest Daily Pass. So again, the Daily Pass is very important as we're returning to school families. As you see here, if we've already done our parent portal, you've linked your children, you've now added your name and information to the Daily Pass. This is what you would see as you're going to activate your Daily Pass for the day. If you see they have access to get their QR code. If you see it grayed out, it means two things. If you might have a test that's pending. Maybe this child has not tested or just tested this morning. What's going to be in gray? Because at this time, the test results have not arrived. Or maybe you uploaded the COVID-19 test result from another entity and you still haven't gotten that clearance and it hasn't been reviewed. So there's different reasons why you might see it in gray. And that would mean that that person would not have access to the campus. The ones that are in white, you would select the name, and then you would select a location below. It's very important, even as employees, as we go into different school sites, we're entering our location and where we're visiting. So here you would see the drop like to enter or office. And usually once you start using it, it'll pop up to the most frequent ones that you use. And also, if you don't want to scroll down, you could kind of delete it and then type in the name of the school and it'll pop up which schools kind of start out with that name or those letters at the beginning. So again, you could either use the drop-down menu, delete it and do your own search, and you click next. You would then take the daily health check. So if you remember, if you don't have the Daily Pass, you would have to make a line and do that in person and answer each question in person before you come in. The benefit of having it here, as you see, you could review them and answer them. This will help protect us. Here's the take the daily health check. It's going to ask you, are you feeling any COVID-19 symptoms? And then it lists the symptoms. And we are more familiar with this. You can see the rest of the pieces that are here. You would answer no or yes, depending on how you're feeling. The next question, have you been in close physical contact with anyone with a confirmed or suspected COVID-19 case in the past 14 days? Again, you would click no or yes, depending on your situation. And then very importantly, you will click on the button that says proceed. Now, if you click yes to any of those two questions, you're going to get this response. It says here, looks like you aren't feeling well. It's better for you to stay at home today. And then it would ask you to schedule a COVID-19 test. And then it gives you the information of where you would go. And then also information about how to connect with that amazing community engagement team that has been charged with keeping everybody safe. So again, kudos to our community engagement. If you selected no, then it's easy. You get to see here the QR code. The QR code is all that you need. If the students have their own phones or they're 13 and over, of course, they would be easily be able to show the QR code. You can take a screenshot of the QR code. And or let's say one parent is taking the students that morning and maybe they take turns taking them, or there's a carpool. You can share your pass with others that are maybe your babysitter that's taking your child to school. You would be able to share that pass with them easily by clicking on share pass. That's a new feature for us. So we're happy to see that there. Makes it easier for families. Now, we've gone over a lot of information. And again, I want to remind everybody, especially if you came a little late, but we also have a help desk. And I know there might be a lot of questions about many other things. There's a help desk, again, that's helping us. They're working from early to the afternoon, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, this is the number to call. And if you need your PIN number and you haven't been able to retrieve it, or your 10-digit ID. Now, what steps can I take to prepare my child? Again, families, if you haven't already done so, please schedule a COVID-19 test on your daily pass. This helps us keep connected and have all your information readily available for the first day of school. We can practice wearing those face masks properly, reminding the students, especially the little ones, they might not be used to wearing their mask, making sure. And then also practicing those new routines, getting up and getting dressed on time. Review a day on campus in the family guide. There's a section on that family guide that you received at home, and it'll help you with the first day of school transition as students know what to expect on the first day. Now, on the left of the screen, we have a tiny URL, and when we're done with our presentation, we'll drop those links. That also shows you what schools have testing this week. And I think we have one of our slides that we'll also share it with you for tomorrow. So as you see here, we still have some schools that have the COVID-19 mobile unit. They're there from 8 to 3:30. So you can make if you've already made an appointment, great. If you need to go to any of the school sites that you see 30, you still have an opportunity. You can join us at any of the schools that are listed on the right side of the screen. You take a look at those schools, if those are convenient for you. The two sites for Local District Central are Evans Adult School and Carver Middle School. But tomorrow they will also be at the schools on this list. Take a look and see if that's one of your schools or if it's close by. All you would need is your child's 10-digit student ID number, and that would streamline the process for the COVID-19 testing. And once again, be prepared and have that daily pass. It would make everything much simpler and with your parent portal. So I know we have maybe some time for some questions and answers. And I know we have one additional guest that will be speaking with you too. So
Well, thank you so much, Miss Araguin. And before we go on, that was a wonderful presentation. I took a lot of notes and I've been even using my daily pass, but I understand better now how to use it. But before we jump in the Q&A, I want to give Mr. Jose Rodriguez, who's the Community of Schools Administrator for Glassell Park Los Feliz Schools, an opportunity to share some information about in-person technology support that you will be offering tomorrow. Very important to look at this because I know sometimes you just think you got it and you need to be there with somebody in person. These are in-person office hours tomorrow. Mr. Rodriguez.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, we are very excited and are looking forward to welcoming all of our students and families this Monday, August 16th, to return to campus. So we're very, very looking forward to seeing all of school administrator for Glasso Park Los Feliz. And we know that you received information this evening. Things will be recorded, there's job aids, but we do want to extend an invitation to all of our families in Board District 5. Tomorrow, our community of school office located at Lexington Primary Center. You do see the address on the flyer in front of you. We will be offering support from 12:30 to 4:30. Any support that you might need in terms of logging into Parent Portal, getting information about your PIN, and of course, the Daily Pass. We're also going to be offering support via Zoom. So we will be offering office hours via Zoom. Our team will be made available to any family in Board District 5 that needs support. So if you're outside of the Glasso Park Los Feliz, you're more than welcome to join us. And again, we want to make sure that all of our families have access to this resource. So again, we're looking forward to everybody coming on board on Monday, August 6th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for extending technology support to our families in person. We really appreciate it. The same assistance will also be offered to the southeast portion of my district, and here are the details. These are 3 sites for you to go tomorrow, Friday, August 13th, between 12 and 3 for Bell, Cudahy, and Maywood, 8:30 and 12:30 for Huntington Park, Vernon, and for Southgate, 8 to 12. That way, everybody can have a chance to get technology support in person if you need that help. Okay, so now I want to go quickly into the questions and answers. And thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez, for your support and for setting that up at the primary center at your local district. So the first question I have is, what happens if the daily site pass goes down?
So remember, the administrators at the school site do have that information on their system. So they would be able to review that system. And then remember, you also would be able to in person answer those questions as you're coming onto campus.
Next question, is there an app to do the daily pass, or do I have to do it through a website or the portal?
It's through a website at this time. Now, if you have a smartphone, there is a way, depending on if you have an Apple or a Samsung, to at least put it, to put that website directly onto the homepage of your screen. So that would be more convenient for families.
Does my Parent Portal control my child's account, or do I make a separate account for him or her?
The Parent Portal is only for parents. Sometimes questions arise because parents will have access to that icon that says Schoology, and students have a Schoology account. But the parents are only able to see their child's information for grades and assignments on their Schoology platform. Students are able to see their projects, collaboration that they have with their teacher and their peers, but no, parents are the only ones that have access to a Parent Portal account.
How do I change my name in the Daily Pass? It shows my name when I'm in the Parent Portal, but when I'm in the Daily Pass, it only shows my husband's name.
So you might need to add yourself as a dependent. If you're using your husband's account and email, you might need to add yourself as a dependent there.
This might be one of those you might want to take into somebody to help you with. That's my opinion. My child took a COVID test on Tuesday, but we cannot find the result on the Parent Portal. Does that mean I need to take it again, or do I just wait to see if it
shows up within 24 to 36 hours, typically? So if it's more than that time, you can call the hotline and they will connect you with the community engagement team and help support you with those results.
Okay, let's see. I can't download my son's COVID test on my phone, only on my desktop. Am I doing something wrong?
So they're trying to download their COVID-19 test results. So if they've already given their child's 10-digit ID number, that would to take the test, it's connected to the school, and the school should have that information. So it all depends if they have the JD Pass. I'm not sure why they would need to download it, but if they do need to download it, they can also take a screenshot.
I work at a program, the employee, and I can't get a guest pass on the drop-down menu.
So you should be able to get a guest pass to come in. If they're visiting for official school business, any of our LAUSD schools, and they're not able to activate that guest pass, they would also have to go through those procedures where they answer those questions and those protocols that are in place to come into the school, but they would have to be able to answer those questions before they come in.
I've submitted interest in COA on parent portal and on website, but I'm still waiting for an enrollment email.
So I don't know the most up-to-date information of City of Angels and at this time, but I do know that City of Angels is connecting with those families. So if you submitted your request by the deadline, they're more Angels to connect with each individual family. They're going to be meeting with those families and reviewing the needs of each of their children that they've selected to go on online learning. If you have any concerns about that and you don't receive that call by tomorrow, again, we have that hotline that you can connect to.
When can I expect to get my PIN and how do I get it?
As soon as you have a 10-digit ID number generated, then you would be able to get your PIN. Most of the time, that's the case.
How do I get it?
So from the school can get them that information, and also the hotline. And if you're in local district central, with us and our team. If you're in local district east, the parent engagement team can also help support.
Well, that's all the questions that were submitted. For the first time in my life, we got through all of them. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much. And we can't tell both you and Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Araguin how grateful we are for this kind of help and support right before we get our kids back into school.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for having us.
So the last slide I'm showing as we leave is all about safety precautions that will be at your school. I want to make sure you understand that we are mandating adult vaccination or weekly testing, that there will be social distancing, that when we tested a couple of days ago, 138,000 students, 847 had positive. That's less than 0.006%. That most is symptomatic transmissions by adults, not from child to child. But here's the most important point. No precaution is absolutely perfect. That's why we have so many preventative measures. If one fails, the others will work. We have masks, we have filters, we have outdoor classrooms, we have weekly testing, we have vaccination campaigns on campus. You can get tested on campus. And in addition to which, we are cleaning every hour or so all of the bathrooms and points. So please, I urge you to make sure that your child and children are tested before school on Monday. And also, I urge all of you who are eligible, please get vaccinated because it's the only way we can protect all our children. I want to thank all of our panelists and particularly my amazing staff and Alejandra Leon, who is doing this on her own for the first time. Thank you so much. And to thank everyone who has put this seminar together. Be safe, be well, get vaccinated if you can, and have a very good night. Thanks for joining us.